can be alone, alone, alone. I can watch a sunset on my own. I can be alone, alone, alone. I can watch a sunset on my own.
Hi, I'm Kate Nash and this is Locked On Signatures. I'm going to talk about 5 records that I love, and my first record is Sitting by the Road by Blaze Foley.
Ride till the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times.
Who I sort of got to know, not as a person, but as an artist, very well during the pandemic. As an American folk artist, and this album is just like, I mean, I did actually spend some time during the pandemic in a cabin. Me and my boyfriend would go on trips into the sort of national parks in America, which we're very lucky to do because we had all that sort of American wide open space. And we spent some time in this cabin in Yosemite just to sort of get away from the city and the pandemic and to not be around any people. And it's the perfect record for like being in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And even when you just put it on, you feel like you're in that setting. So I love the record. I think his songwriting is really amazing. It's got like a nostalgic feel. It's sad, but it's really funny. Absolutely beautiful lyricist. And I'm completely in love with this record. My second choice is Monkey Brain by Babydave.
Sitting on a 2-9 and I need a piss. Sitting at the front cause we get travel sick. Lucy is sitting on...
I became friends with Isaac actually in the last year or so. We've collaborated on one of his songs.
I got plans in the evening, but I change them for you.
It's gonna come out soon hopefully, so that's something to look forward to. Again, I was living in America and I just found his album. I don't know like how I discovered it. I think we've got like a couple of mutual friends basically, and like someone who took photos for this record, Gory Bastard, had posted some images from it, and it's just so British. His music is really just so English. It really made me like miss home and kind of gave me that like comfort when I was in another country. Very funny and really catchy music, amazing melodies. And I love that he's just like 100% himself. It really feels like so honest, which is like something I think British musicians do really well. It's just kind of like cut through the bullshit and just like present like who you are, which is very cool. My third record is Miss Power by Connie Constance.
It's too late, the damage is already done. Ain't nothing.
Love this artist. This record just blew me away when it came out. I was already a fan of Connie, and I think she's just kind of flourished into this really amazing, expressive place. The production on the album is sick as well. It's like you're kind of taken into this like fairy landscape with guitars and beats, but it feels really, it's like messy but slick and kind of tight drums, but like aggressive guitars, and like her vocals and her voice is so unique sounding. There's not another singer like her. I love her voice, and her lyrics are absolutely incredible. Okay, well, this is a long title. Okay, Elvis Presley, a boy from I don't know how to say that, ᴍᴇʀျy. All right, so this record is Elvis Presley, The Complete Works, A Boy from ᴍᴇʀျy, recordings from 1953 to 1955.
Well, I thought I knew just what she'd do. I guess I'm not so smart.
It's one of my favourite Elvis records. It's just a collection of songs that you will have heard, maybe some that you haven't, and definitely demos that you've never heard before. There's like loads of different versions of Blue Moon, and you can just hear him like sitting in, I'm imagining like a vocal booth basically, and like playing guitar and doing different like take after take, all these different takes of Blue Moon.
Without a dream of my own.
Something so haunting and addictive about it. I can just like listen to it over and over and over again, because I think it's like always really exciting to hear an artist in such a raw state, especially someone who you know as such a kind of like iconic rock pop star of a different era, and to just kind of hear him like chatting to the sound engineers and like doing different versions of songs that you know really well, and they sound really haunting as well. So I kind of was always an Elvis fan, not massively. It was actually this record that made me like fall in love with, like I loved all his hits obviously, they're amazing songs, but like this record kind of made me fall in love with his music and his voice in a new way. I've got another Connie, this is Connie Converse, How Sad, How Lovely.
And the lights going on.
As a a really sad story behind this artist. She is a folk artist from the 50s and she had no success when she was alive. A lot of women in the sort of folk scene during the 50s like experienced a lot of sexism, and sort of there's other artists like ᴍᴇʀы and stuff that were discovered like much later. So I always think it's really, you know, I'm quite new to finding out about this, so I thought it'd be cool to kind of spread awareness to people that may not have heard of her. And it's like acoustic, amazing lyrics, really like exactly what you would imagine from like a folk 50s record with the title, to be honest. And she disappeared as well. She wrote letters to her family, but they just completely cut ties with everyone she knew and like drove off. No one ever saw or heard from her again. So it's kind of like a spooky mystery. So I think it's cool to like celebrate her music. There's a couple of songs on this record too where there's a few little mistakes that she makes when she's recording, and then she'll like talk about it afterwards.
Something's going wrong with my guitar all of a sudden.
And I love hearing that kind of thing because everything's so polished these days. I like hearing the humanity in music. My locked on pick, original Pirate Material by The Streets. It's a classic.
Like a joyrider, speeding to the corner. Your mother warned you, a sound system bagger. Has it come to
This reminds me of being, I guess, 16, I think. I don't know what year it was. Me and my friends were at the Brit School in Croydon, and that is really when, like, I always loved music, but I think for a lot of people, sort of 15, 16 is the time that you really start like carving out your identity. And this record was massive for like me and my friends at the Brit School, and we used to just kind of sit in our bedrooms and listen to it on a CD player. And Mike Skinner like really influenced me as a lyricist, and I think a lot of the artists in my generation, I think he like paved out this kind of space for us to be able to like use our voices and be very British and kind of celebrate like our accents. Before that, I was trying to be American, I think, really, because all my heroes were like pop American singers, and I felt like I had to be something that I'm not. And people like Mike taught me that you can just be yourself and talk about what you know, and that that's still really interesting. So oh my God, how do you pick one? No, so no skip. I mean, I think that, oh shit. I want to say Let's Push Things Forward is my favourite.
House pitch, no media hype, no hydro, it's nice and right. I speak in communications in...
I think, but how do you choose when there's no skips? Thank you for joining me, and thanks to Locked On for having me. This has been my Locked On Signatures. I'm Kate Nash, and I'm playing some shows this summer, so look out for me at some festivals.